Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, inshallah. This is going to be our video continuation from the prophets. So this is going to be video 17F. And we have about three more prophets that we're going to be talking about. And then we're going to wrap up the number 17 series. And then we'll move on to video number 18, inshallah. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Lut alayhi salam, or Prophet Lut. Let's write the name here. Lut alayhi salam. Or I think it's written like that in English. Lot or Lut. Okay. Bullet points that we talk about. We know that he was the nephew of which prophet? Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. If you recall, we talked about it a few lessons back. We were talking about Ibrahim alayhi salam, that he had two brothers, and Lut alayhi salam is from that brother. I think his name was Haran, if I'm not making a mistake. So that was that brother. But anyway, so he was kind of like the nephew, kind of stayed with Ibrahim alayhi salam. So places he went, so he was kind of with him. And then now is Ibrahim alayhi salam is telling him that he needs to go to this city. And the city that he was sent to was called Sodom, like in modern terminology we know as Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so he was sent there because of course people were engaging in homosexuality. In the open, meaning like to them it was not a big deal, so they were doing it openly. And this is an act that was never known among humans before this. So Lut alayhi salam was sent to these people in the city of Sodom, and to invite people. Of course, all of the prophets, they had one message, same message, to invite people to worship one God, no partners, don't worship anything else, don't worship idols, all of these things. So that was their message, for all of them. And of course, these people were so far, in their own evil ways of just doing whatever immoralities and whatever they wanted to do. They were just doing it so openly everywhere. So he was sent to them to, for them to stop that and to, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one God, and not the idols and all of that. But of course, they didn't believe, they didn't accept, they didn't want him. They even told Lut alayhi salam that you are a people of pure. So they told basically their people in the city that to get Lut alayhi salam out of here, because these are people that are pure. So get these people that are too clean, they're too pure, out of our city, because we want to do whatever we want to do. So we don't want anybody stopping us. So then what happens was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent two messengers. I'm going to erase this so we have space um, for the rest. He sent two messengers, or angels, we can say angels or messengers, same thing, because messengers also, they're angels as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God sent two messengers to their people, to this town of Sodom. Remember, we talked about these two messengers that first they stopped by Ibrahim alayhi salam and his wife Hajar, and they gave him the glad tidings or the good news of Sarah, Sarah, not Hajar, excuse me, that she was going to have two sons of Ishaq and Yaqub. And they stayed with Ibrahim alayhi salam just, a little bit, give him that good news and whatnot. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, made like roasted a calf or something for them and put this little feast together for them. And these two people were not eating and they were not reaching to grab the food. And so Ibrahim alayhi salam kind of, he got a little bit scared. And he's like, what kind of people is this that, I put this roasted calf in front of them and they're not eating. You have to think back in those days, people used to travel, desert and caravans. People, be hungry. So for them to not eat, it was kind of suspicious. But then the messengers, they told Ibrahim alayhi salam that not to worry, don't be afraid, that we are angels sent from God and we are on a mission. So we were just passing through by you and we're going towards the people of Lut because we are commanded by God to destroy these people, destroy this whole town. And then there, Ibrahim alayhi salam started basically kind of arguing with the angels and saying that, but Lut lives there, like how can you destroy this town where Lut alayhi salam, he is there. And of course, that's his nephew and he's a prophet. So he was kind of arguing with them, like, don't do that, don't destroy him because he and his family lives there. And how can you do that? And so the angel said that we know what we're doing. God has commanded us to do that. And of course, Lut and his family is going to be saved. So, but the rest has to be destroyed. So then that two angels come towards the city where Lut alayhi salam is. And because those people, they had that desire of, being with a man or whatever. And these two angels came to town. And of course, they're angels. They're beautiful. They're two men, that walk into to the city. So they come to Lut alayhi salam's house. And, so somebody comes to Lut alayhi salam and tells them that there's two, men that are just walking into the city. They knew that these are not the normal people that live there. So they look like they're strangers, but somehow Lut alayhi salam so goes and greets these angels and brings them to his house, and the angels are there. But Lut alayhi salam does not know that these two are angels. He thinks that they're just two regular men. And Lut alayhi salam is very, very scared and worried and afraid because, people are going to find out and they're going to come after him. And sure enough, and that's what happens. And all of the people from the city finds out about this. Of course, Lut alayhi salam's wife is the one that kind of goes and spills the beans to all the people and says that, guess who's in our house? And we have these two very good looking men in our house and all of that. And so, of course, the word gets out and then people rushing and everybody's rushing and they're behind Lut alayhi salam's house and they're banging on the door and they're like, send them out. We want those two men that are inside your house. And and Lut alayhi salam is very, like, he felt so helpless because he was by himself. There was nobody else with him. And he made this dua, like, I wish that I had the quwwah, meaning the strength and the power to be able to, stand against you guys today because, you can overpower me and break down the door and come in. And he was pleading with the people, excuse me, to, like, do not shame me in front of my guests. These are my guests. If you guys want to do anything, or if you have some ill intention, there's my daughters, meaning like the daughters that are like lawful for you, that you can marry these daughters, meaning the daughters, not his daughters, but the daughters of, meaning the girls or the ladies that were in the city, meaning that these are lawful for you, that you should marry. But they don't want to hear that, because they were telling Lut alayhi salam, it's like, Lut, what we want. And so we told you before to never entertain or have guests at your house without us not knowing. So hand them over and send these men out. So Lut alayhi salam is very at this stage where he just doesn't know what to do. He's just so stressed out. And at that moment, the two men who are angels from God, they tell Lut alayhi salam that you don't need to worry, you don't need to stress out. We are here and we will help you. And this is the mission that we were sent with. And so you and your family leave in the middle of the night, except your wife, and your wife will remain behind because she is one of those people. And don't worry about her. You and the rest of your family just leave in the middle of the night. The rest we will take care of. And that's what Lut alayhi salam does. And then the angels destroys the town. They basically flip the town upside down. And it was said that it rained on the town. Stones that were baked of clay, and they came one by one after them, and the whole town was completely destroyed. So that was the people of Lut, and had to do with Sodom. So I know, because there's these three prophets in the Quran that we always read, and sometimes we get them confused, like, well, who was who and which one is what? So we have Lut alayhi salam that came to the people of Sodom. So this is a place. This is a town. So he came to this. Then we have Prophet Hud alayhi salam. I'm going to go ahead and erase this so we can talk about Prophet Hud alayhi salam. Okay, so the next we have Hud alayhi salam. Prophet Hud, he came to, yeah, you guys can still see that. Okay, he came to a city or tribe, to the tribe of Ad. Ad. Okay, so Ad is a tribe, and he was sent to them. And these people, they said that they were Arabs. And they lived in tents with huge pillars. And again, same concept, same thing, same idea. They were worshiping idols. This just keeps continuing. So every time a messenger is sent to change these people from their ways, invite them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to worship one God. But, they go astray, and then they just continue, worshiping the same thing. And okay, so they used to worship idols, and the three idols that they worshipped, the names were Shamada, or Shamada, and then it's Shamuda, and then Hara. So these were the three idols that they worshipped. Same thing. They didn't want to accept his message. And there's another, it's just a hadith here that we want to add here of the Prophet ﷺ. That the Prophet ﷺ said, he was talking to Abu Dhar radiallahu anh, and he said that there are four. He was talking about the prophets. He said that there are four prophets that are Arab. And he said, Hud, Saleh, Shu'aib, and your prophet, meaning himself, meaning himself, Muhammad. So we have hadith here. This is four prophets are Arabs. Descendants Arab. So Hud alayhi salam, we have Saleh, and then Shu'aib, and then Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Okay. So those were the four prophets. I thought that was something that's interesting to know. All right. And then these people, of course, they did not change their ways. They didn't take heed from the message of Hud alayhi salam. So they were destroyed by a severe wind. It was a wind that it was not only extreme wind, but it was extremely cold, like freezing wind. And that lasted 7 nights. 7 nights and 8 days. So this wind lasted like a week, non-stop, day and night. I mean, it was like when we talk about like tornado, it's like that kind of same caliber as that it was extreme, severe. And so what it did, basically, it was the whole thing was leveled. Their whole town was leveled. Nothing else was remained after that. Everything was gone. So they were destroyed. Okay, and then the next one and the last one that we're going to be talking about, Saleh alayhi salam. Let me erase the board. I'll be right back. Okay. So we have Saleh alayhi salam. And he was sent to the tribe of Thamud. It's just right here. Thamud. Okay. And message was the same as always. They were worshiping idols. Oh, there's 2 P's in here. Worshiping idols. So the message was for them to get them away from that, believe in one God, and not associate anything, no partners, no nothing with God. And there was a small group that did believe. Small group believed in him. But however, majority of the people did not rejected his message. And they used to, another thing that associates with them, they used to carve houses, castles inside mountains. Okay, huge. They used to hollow out the inside, the mountain sides, and carve into that uh, beautiful homes and castles. But yet, however, they used to live on the mainland, but they had huge mansions and castles into the mountains. So they would do that, and then of course they didn't believe in Salih alayhi salam. They kept asking, like, if you're this and you're this, then show us this, bring us a miracle, give us a miracle. So finally, Salih alayhi salam did ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a miracle for these people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did send the miracle here, which was the she camel. And the story goes that they asked Salih alayhi salam for a miracle, so he said okay. And Salih alayhi salam told him that there's this huge boulder, there's huge rock, and told people to basically that's where the miracle is going to be coming from. So it is said that the rock, this huge, massive boulder, just cracked open, and from it came out this huge, huge camel that was not, it was much, much bigger than like your average normal camel. This thing was like massive. And it was a she camel, meaning that she was carrying, she was pregnant. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them that, and they saw this miracle with their own eyes. They saw it. But I guess when you just don't want to believe, you just don't want to believe, So, and Salih told them that here's the miracle that you guys were asking for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God has sent this to you guys. So, but make sure that you give her, meaning the camel, her due share, because it was such a huge camel that, like one day the watering is just going to be for her. So when she's drinking water, nobody else touches basically the area where they were serving water, and let the water be for the camel. And then the following day, then you guys, meaning the people in the city, in the town, then it's your turn. Then you can take the water. And then so let her graze and drink water. And of course, this was going on for a while, but then of course, people that they're evil in their ways, and they had to plot and plan. And they said that, how can you guys, believe in Saleh, and he's just a human being just like us. He walks the market just like you and I. He eats and he sleeps, and he's no different than you and I. And why are you listening to him? And all of these things. So they're trying to turn people against them, and so they plotted and planned and found a group of people that they said, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna kill the camel. And sure enough, they planned it, and that's what they did. So they killed the camel. And then Salih alayhi salam told them that, basically give him a warning. They said that, and they were telling Salih alayhi salam that, okay, we killed the camel, now bring it on. Basically, like, bring on what you've been preaching and telling us, that this torment is going to come our way and is going to take us and whatever. So they're like, well, we're ready for it. What is it? Like, bring it on now. We've been waiting for you. So if you're telling the truth, then let it happen. So sure enough, Salih alayhi salam gave him 3 days warning. He said, you have 3 days, and then after 3 days, the warning, the punishment of Allah, the punishment of God is coming. And of course, they made fun of him, and they didn't believe him. And the one day passed by, and they're like, oh, where's your, so they were taunting and doing all these weird stuff. But after the third day, sure enough, they were destroyed by a severe earthquake, and destroyed by severe earthquake. Oops, sorry. Severe earthquake. And then the whole town, all of them were completely destroyed. That they fell on in their houses like tree trunks, because they were people of very tall, big build, So they're all destroyed completely. So this is pretty much the three prophets that we talked about. Like we said, as a refresher reminder, we said Lut alayhi salam, he was sent to the people of Sodom. And then Hud alayhi salam was sent to the people of Ad. And Saleh alayhi salam was sent to the people of Thamud. All right, inshallah, we will stop here. And then until next video, assalamu alaikum.